You open your banking app. Your savings account is sitting there, $12,000, maybe more, maybe less, but it is there, growing slowly every month. You feel responsible. You feel ahead. You feel safe. Then someone asks you one simple question. What is that money actually earning you every year? You check, and the number is so small it almost feels like a joke. Meanwhile, everything around you, rent, food, petrol, groceries, costs more than it did last year. Your savings are growing, but your wealth is quietly shrinking. If that feeling is familiar, what I am about to tell you is not about saving more. It is about finally understanding why saving alone was never going to be enough. My name is Jack, and I spent years thinking I was doing everything right with money until I realized the one mistake that was quietly undoing all of it. Hit subscribe if you want honest answers about money that nobody else is saying out loud. Let us get into it. Here is the uncomfortable truth nobody tells you when you open your first savings account. Saving money and growing money are two completely different things, and most people spend their entire lives doing only one of them. Here is what I mean. When you put money in a savings account, you are protecting it, keeping it safe, making sure it does not disappear. But here is the problem. Safe and growing are not the same thing. In fact, for most people with money sitting in a standard savings account, their money is not just standing still, it is moving backwards. And the reason is something called inflation. Inflation is the rate at which the cost of everything around you increases every year. Food, rent, transport, healthcare, everything gets slightly more expensive every single year. The average inflation rate historically runs at around 2 to 3% per year. Now here is the math that most people never do. If your savings account is earning 0.5% interest and inflation is running at 3%, your money is losing 2.5% of its purchasing power every single year, which means that $12,000 sitting in your savings account today will buy you less next year than it buys you right now, and less the year after that, and less the year after that. You are not saving your way to wealth, you are saving your way to slow decline. But here is where it gets really interesting, because inflation is only half the problem. The second mistake is even more damaging, and almost nobody talks about it. It is called opportunity cost. Here is what opportunity cost means in simple terms. Every dollar sitting in your savings account is a dollar that is not working for you somewhere else. Let us look at the math. Imagine you have $10,000 sitting in a savings account earning 1% interest. After 10 years, you have roughly $11,000. Now imagine that same $10,000 invested in a simple broad market index fund, earning the historical average of around 8 to 10% per year. After 10 years, that same $10,000 becomes between $21,000 and $25,000. Same money, completely different outcome. The savings account cost you $10,000 in lost growth. That is opportunity cost, and most people are paying it every single month without realizing it. Now you might be thinking, okay, Jack, so should I just invest everything and save nothing? No, absolutely not. That is the other extreme, and it is just as dangerous. Here is the balance that actually works. Step 1, keep a real emergency fund in savings, and only in savings. 3 to 6 months of living expenses in a high-yield savings account if possible. This money has one job: to be there when life goes wrong. Job loss, medical emergency, car repair. It is not for investing. It is not for opportunities. It is purely for protection. But here's the key. Once that emergency fund is fully funded, every dollar above it should be working harder than a savings account allows. Step 2. Move everything above your emergency fund into assets that beat inflation. This does not mean gambling. This does not mean crypto speculation or risky stock picks. It means simple, boring, proven investments, broad market index funds, low cost, diversified, historically returning 8 to 10% per year over long periods. The goal is simple. Your money needs to grow faster than inflation eats for your emergency and a savings account. Not almost never achieves that. Equal. Step 3. Savings accounts at big banks often pay almost nothing, but high-yield savings accounts, often found at online banks, can pay significantly more interest on the same money. This is a simple upgrade. Same protection, better return, no additional risk. Let me make this real with a quick example. Two people, both saving $500 per month. Person A puts everything into a standard savings account. After 10 years, they have roughly $65,000. Sounds okay, but adjusted for inflation, the real purchasing power is significantly less. Person B keeps 3 months' expenses in a high-yield savings account as emergency fund. Everything else goes into a simple index fund. After 10 years, their invested portion has grown to well over $85,000. Plus, they still have their emergency fund intact. Same savings rate, completely different outcome. The difference was not discipline, it was not income, it was just knowing where to put the money. Here's the mindset shift that changes everything. Saving is not the goal, saving is the starting point. Your savings account is a waiting room, not a destination. Money goes into savings temporarily, gets organized, gets allocated, and then moves into assets that actually grow. The people building real wealth are not saving more than you. They are just moving their money faster into places where it compounds instead of sitting still. And here is the beautiful part. You do not need to be an expert to do this. You do not need to pick stocks. You do not need to time the market. You just need to understand one simple thing. A savings account protects your money, but only investments grow your money. And you need both. In the right amounts. In the right order. Emergency fund first. Always. Non-negotiable. Everything above it. Put it to work. Every month. Automatically. Before lifestyle can claim it. That is the savings mistake 99% of people make. Not that they save too little, but that they save too much in the wrong place. And not enough in the right one. If this changed how you think about your savings account, hit subscribe. New video every week. And tell me in the comments, how much of your money is sitting in a standard savings account right now? Because if it is more than your emergency fund, this video was